Okay, Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's go and take a look at the market. Let's have another view. Let's go back to the absolute basics of technical analysis and see if there is a chance of bear market or a bull market, because recently Bitcoin had the turnaround that we talked about. Um, Hopefully, if I have the chart that I showed you guys before. So let me explain this a little bit so people that are new have an understanding what we have been through and what has happened. We had the buy signal after the exit of this base, as well as the buy signal at $84,000, which is still intact, but this structure, as I said before, closing below $94,000 is bearish, because what we had was this line as a support to move further to $100,000. Now, if you see, this has already happened. And if you see this trend line as well, it is broken. What is only holding the Bitcoin price right now is this base that we have, which basically is the level of demand. But we're gonna talk about some of the other things that I have also told you, which one of them is USD against other currencies. So if you see US dollar, it had a good rejection from this zone, which is 99.39. And if you see this other Dixie chart perfectly aligns, and it's perfectly going according to what we want it to do, which is bearish for US dollar. So if US dollar loses its dominance and keeps dropping against all the other currencies, we can expect it to keep going down. At the same time, it will push back the price of crypto up. I'm not gonna today talk about the altcoins, because what is the biggest driver of this market anyways? It's Bitcoin, right? We're gonna have a long chat about Bitcoin, inshallah, and it will open your mind to so many possibilities, inshallah. The chart I want to show you, one is Bitcoin, the other one is USDT dominance. But before that, let's go first with this chart of Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin index, all-time history. I do have it, it says here, but I don't know which one is it. So I'm gonna delete it from the chart and put it back to see. Okay, it's this one. So we have this here. And this is obviously the previous probabilities, and I have already talked about this a lot, but I'm going to be emphasizing more about this. And let me quickly do some things here. Okay, I know you guys like the dark mode, but I am into this white mode uh, just about today, because it gets a little bit boring to always have one single chart, and also to open your perspective into other possibilities so you can clearly see what I mean. It doesn't matter at what chart and how we do things, but what all matters is that however we put the market, it will do what it is supposed to be doing. So okay, so I have previously talked about this chart quite a lot. Uh, Even since the top of the market, what I want to show you is how perfectly supply and demand aligns with what we want. And we want to see if there is still a chance of going up before going down, or we will go down before we go up. So the things I want to show you here is, one, this is the level of supply, which was broken, which was a level of supply, and it was broken and became a demand level until it was completely flushed out by all these big candles, and it was proven otherwise. Now, you know this already. I have talked about this before too, as well as this line, which I still believe, especially if I give you like one price at 69,000, because it aligns with the previous all-time high. Now, this is the previous all-time high, and this is, if we put it, for quite some time, price was below this. Now, you can take it this way as well. It will become a giant box, which it makes sense, but I would like to take it as small as this much, and I can take another one and put it this way as another zone. This is better. This is what I prefer. And what I want you guys to be aware that most of the time we use the trend line, but in here, I will again show you a curve line, which is called the power curve. I will explain it some other time what it is and why it works. Don't want to complicate things because we just want to talk about Bitcoin. So if you put this line, you can see how accurately it has been only holding this line for a very long time. Every single time Bitcoin dipped, it dipped into this line. Here in 2011, mark it as wrong place. Okay, here we can see that. We can see it here. We can see it not there, but here in 2020, and in here in 2022. So basically, I didn't even correctly take every single thing, but okay, now it looks a little bit correct. Now, it doesn't give you a 4-year cycle. It does not give you any kind of cycle. It just gives you where the price dipped previously. And so many times before, you see, we do not do a speculation, because if we do so, it will limit us into thinking what is going to happen in the future, which is not in our hands. But if we see the probabilities through how things work according to mathematics, then we would know that there are some things that are just probabilities, and we can just keep following that and see what are the possibilities of the market doing in the short term and also in the long term. So if I make like the last adjustment here, it is looking something like this. Okay, now let's zoom in again. Before that, I wanted to show you something else too. So this can be a very good educational video if you follow everything through, because if you see we had a top here, then after the break of this top, which was in 2013, then it pushed up, it made a rally. Bitcoin price went to 1,177 something. It came back, it came back to almost 166 and formed this consolidation here and continued going up. Basically, it's the basic of how the chart works in technical analysis: breakout, retest, continuation. Now, we want to find the same thing over and over again. So once it happened here, if we take this high, it hasn't happened. Okay, so it's not necessarily, it doesn't mean that it should always happen, but I'll show you how many times it has happened and what are the chances for this to happen now, and why do I think it could happen. Let's move these. Okay. So this line has been holding for a very long period of time. We identified the trend. Now we know that Bitcoin is still in a bullish trend in long term, in years to come. Now, this might also take a while for Bitcoin to occur, to come back to these lows. Now, you see it aligns perfectly, one with 52,000, the other one with 69,000. I'm not saying that necessarily Bitcoin has to go to either one of this level. It can just maybe continue going up from here. I don't know. What I do know is the probabilities, and I want to take it that way. Okay. So this is now the overall view. We want to see where the price might be heading next. Now let's zoom in. We identified that. How did I identify the top? It was very obvious. No breakout means it will drop. So take a look at this pen bar first. It was the first indication. We didn't come down. There was a lot of hype in the market. Then the second time it got rejection, it was obvious that it will touch the all-time high, and there was a level of demand. It closed, no breakout to the downside, back again, continued to the upside. Now, this breakout, which it didn't happen for the third time after giving a big candle like this, that's exactly when I told you that it's actually sell. And that's where the biggest crash in the market happened too, which it aligned with this, which I had some theories why it would happen, but we're not going to discuss that. I have previously told you why I was thinking like that. Here, you can see that previously we had this consolidation, right? After this, there was a major breakout and the price came down. It almost reached the 69,000. I didn't quite buy exactly this 74,000. I came and invested a little bit later because I was waiting for $69,000 to actually happen. Now, on the other hand, we have here what? Level of supply, which later on was broken, turned into a demand. So let's take this one as well, which aligns perfectly with where the price of Bitcoin got rejected now. Now, can this be the continuation of this top? Like we topped here, Bitcoin should come down, retest here. Much probable. Like this is one of the most probabilities, not something that I didn't knew. I have already shown you in another chart. Now, if I go into that, I don't know if I can align it. Yeah, we can. There's very small details that we can fix because of the background that I just recently changed, but I don't have to fix anything. You can see it clearly what I mean. It's the same analysis that I have been showing you for months now, since the price was here. So I made a joke that what if it will try again to trap people around this area, then we will continue going down. But that joke turned out to be true, that this has already happened. Now, this, once it was broken, 107,000, which was the last hope for that time, it came down. Now, the only demand that is holding was this level. That's why we bought. That's why we traded all this time, because of this consolidation in Bitcoin, which the range is not so much. It's like 6-7%, like 10%, right? But we had some pushes like 20%, 30%, and even up to 100% in some of the coins in our portfolio, which was obviously the high risk ones. I'm not also allocated a lot in those, but I'm just like telling you that those happened. Now, let's go back to this chart. So coming back to this, it clearly tells me that yes, although in the lower time frame, according to the daily chart, there are these levels, but in the long run, it can still go and touch this level. So if you want to accumulate Bitcoin, which is in a very good place and a lot of discount, it could be this. and it might just stay for a while here before we actually move up, which aligns with the October 2026, which could be what? The end of the year and another year from this all-time high. Quite possible that this will happen and it flattens here before we actually see moving up back towards the all-time high, which then can lead to even higher prices. So this is what people expected to be happening soon. We don't know that it might happen, but what we do know for sure that if the bottom happens, it could happen anywhere near to this blue line that we have. It doesn't have to be exactly always the same, but it can be at least near to that. So yeah, it's quite possible after breaking this all-time high, we might have a push, but to get to these levels, it will take years. And we might even do this for a while as well. Go up, come down, go up, come down until it will just keep on going up. So that's that case. Now, now I just showed you the bear market, the worst case scenario. What we were hoping was to see something like this, but since I already gave you the invalidation level, now it doesn't really matter if we see this or no, because it is invalidated, and unless it is regained, we might expect something like this to happen. But the most probable one is still first coming to here, then maybe consolidating one case, the other cases, coming back to here, then going up. You see how many probabilities are there? Everything points to coming back to 83, but this one is the actual continuation of this pattern, which is a bearish pattern. So the same way that the price goes up, it can quite come back down. So this is quite possible. I want you guys to be prepared for any scenario. So that's that one. Now let's go and take a look at the USDT chart and what I am hoping that is the case. So nobody loses, not you, not me. So let me update this as well quickly. Is it this one? I believe so. Anyways, so yeah. Why do I call this the line of hope? Is because above this is going to be bear market, and you're gonna see Bitcoin bleeding. You're gonna see altcoins literally going back, some of them getting destroyed and going into nothingness, some of them going back to their nearest or all-time lows, because that's how this market performs. But clearly, you can see that how many times we were going up from here until it was broken here. Now, let me put the other way of this. I don't even know the shortcut of what it is to hold this thing and keep drawing it. That would be easy. You know, I can do this. Copy paste, copy paste. And here we are at this point. Now, according to support and resistance, if we see it, it has been touched quite a lot. And it even tried breaking it, which was just recently. But why I'm still hoping that it should hold is because this line is not broken yet, and it's not a breakout candle. This is the only thing that I have followed most of the time. It has worked for me. It doesn't have to be the same for you. I am not saying that it should happen according to what I'm saying. The only thing that I'm pointing here is that this is a very respected zone. If the price is above it, it will be a bear market for crypto because USDT dominance is against it. Everybody will sell their crypto to stay in a stable coin. But on the other hand, this falling means people will sell their stable coin and buy crypto. So what I'm seeing here is a lot of opportunity, at the same time, a lot of bad things that are going to happen to the crypto market, and it will stay for a while like that. It's not like it will change, it will stay like that for a while. This is clearly from supply and demand, and I gave you guys the exit exactly here. We did trade a lot along the way because of the pullbacks, but it's not something that we didn't know. Alhamdulillah, for actually knowing this. But how can it help us now? So if you see break of this, obviously you need to do your own diligence. You need to do your own research. If you see break of this, it probably means that on the retest of it into something like this, you would need to get out. But if you see a trap like this, then it means it's a continuation. Or we might just continue from here because I can already see this base forming. I can already see the price declining. It also means that what if the price actually breaks? It can, anything is possible because of what is happening in the world as well. But the market tells it before it happens. So when you hear in the news, it's already probably late to look at it from that lens, that because things are happening now, the market would react to it. The market already did, to war, to the tariffs, to everything, all this time since October 10. And yes, this was also one of the reasons why I gave you guys the exit on Bitcoin, because of this accumulation in USDT. So what else do you want as evidence? Now, the same way I'm saying that this is the top for USDT, unless it is proven that it's going to go the other way, it's going to go up. Then we might stay for a bear market the entire year until the market tops back around these prices. Then we're going to go back down. So that is the hope there. And for Bitcoin in the short term, let me quickly turn back this to what we were seeing before, because I think I am messing up with my head right now. Anyways, I'll do it later. Let's explain this for the short term. So currently, what I'm still seeing is this base, that if it holds, I am still good. Like, I have an exit, especially the Ethereum position that I bought around here because of this, which I thought it's at its lowest, but this is what we got. Have an exit, because the exit plan for me is not reclaiming it. If it doesn't reclaim and turns around, even if it's in 4 hour or if it's on the daily, then I'll exit. But clearly this is not a breakout candle. It's more of a drop back to the base, the same way as this candle, the same way as this candle. I hope you guys are learning something from this. Otherwise, it will remain meaningless, whatever I say here. And if you like the content, press the like button. If you want to join our community, join. It is free. If you want to learn, obviously, we have some free courses, and I keep teaching you guys on YouTube as well. You can subscribe there. But if you want every little detail, a long course with proper mentorship and weekly backtesting sessions, you will need to join Halal Portfolio Premium. So this is what I have to say for now. I'll see you guys inshallah next time. Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.